Good afternoon, machinists and our allies in the labor movement. This is the 141 Report, and I'm your host, Dave Lehive, a communications representative for District Lodge 141. This week, our topic turns to Grievance Committee work as we have a discussion with American Airlines chairperson, Brother Mark Chavez, and his two committee people, Nic Haberman and Ed Horvath from Denver, Colorado's Local Lodge 1886. Join us as our 141 Report starts now. Hello, brothers. Thanks for coming on today's show.
Hey, Dave. Good to see you.
Good morning, Dave. Nice seeing you again.
It's good to see you guys. Mark, Nick, and Ed, let's get this interview going because we got a lot to talk about. Please tell me about yourselves, your background history with the airlines, and the positions you've held in the Machinist Union.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Dave. Yes, sir. I was hired in 1987 with the Pacific Southwest Airlines. I worked in Los Angeles, California. Worked in Denver for most of my career here. I've held the shop steward and committee chair locally here in Denver. We're under Local 1886, Denver, Colorado.
Nick?
All right. Yeah, Dave, brothers, sisters in District 141. My name's Nic Haberman. Hired America West 2005. Started serving in the IAM in 2009, shop steward, transferred out to Phoenix in 2014, was elected onto committee there, served as committee chair, and then came back to Denver and has been serving as Grievance Committee secretary here in the station since then with Mark and Ed. I'm station trainer and a crew chief for American Airlines. I'm married, got 2 kids, love living in Denver and love being a part of this union.
Great. Ed, how about yourself?
Morning, Dave. My name is Ed Horvath. I've been with American for 14 years now. I was hired at the merger between U.S. Airways and America West, actually. Been a shop steward probably about 10 years now, and part of the committee, and also do EAP work up here in Denver.
EAP. I was just talking to the guys yesterday, EAP 2. They had a class going on. So that's a great hat you're wearing. That helps a lot of people. Appreciate that. So Brother Mark, can you tell the listeners about your role at the Denver airport as the committee chair?
Yes, sir. Here in Denver, the committee chair pretty much helps as a team member with the committee. We run grievances through our process that enables us to define and to verify that they're actually good grievances. We were always having to deal with that with the American Airlines management we have here in Denver now. So it's a tough chore, but yeah, we basically run those through our system here with Ed and Nick, and we're able to sift through the ones that really need to be pushed forward and take them to our AGCs and the new process that we have with our new contract here. And on the safety side of it also, we have to run them through those as well sometimes.
Okay. All right. So Nick, how big is the Denver station, and who are the folks you actually represent? What classifications?
Yeah. All right. Well, we represent, fleet service, rampers out here, crew chiefs, part-time, full-time FSAs. I was looking at our seniority list and it's changed a lot. Denver throughout the pandemic, we are past our pre-COVID numbers. We've done a lot of hiring. I know that as station trainer. So currently we have 24 full-time crew chiefs, 64 full-time FSAs, 43 part-time agents, a half a dozen or so of those still under probation. So that's a total of about 131 as it stands. We're expecting some people in the process doing CITA and background. So we expect that number to jump up maybe another, 10 to a dozen in the next month or so. That's the station size. Now you sort of asked about the composition of the station. We are a mixed station with the association TWIAM through the furlough and RIF process. We had some people, come into Denver. So we have 2 of our crew chiefs are currently TWU, 10 full-time and 2 part-time. So that works out to about 9% of the station, or 1 out of every 10 TWU. I am sort of proud to say we had preferential hires. Former TW came in under the preferential hire agreement into Denver. They had the option to elect whether they reverted back to TW or stay at IAM. All 11 of them, after a few years of being IAM members, decided to stick with the IAM. So that's the composition of our station, a field station in the Western region, and one of the larger field stations out there, and definitely one of the most densely represented, if I say so myself.
Great update. Brother Ed, committees are only as good as its shop stewards, and because they're their frontline representatives for our union. How many shop stewards do you work with at the airport?
I'm going to go ahead and defer that over to the chairman, Mark, and let him answer that question.
Okay, very good. Mark?
Yeah, we have a handful. Of course, our shop stewards are coming and going sometimes, and things happen to them, or they have different things in their lives that take place. So I think we're working with about a handful now. Nick, is that correct? I think we're doing about six to 8.
Yeah. Dave, part of my role as a committee secretary is I sort of, keep track of a lot of these things, and I've got the shop steward list, and really just for a promotion out there for Erica, who's our webmaster, Local 1886. IAM website. You can go on there. I believe, I should have it off the top of my head. IAM1886.org, or you look up Rocky Mountain Lodge, and she has all our shop stewards listed. But right now we've got 7 shop stewards. We also represent the membership, not just via committee and shop stewards, but we have other representation on property. So we have a bid review committee. 11 members compose the bid review committee. We have 3 members of our local safety team. In the training department, which now I'm ahead of, we've got a lot of shop stewards and members in good standing. So 6 of them in the IAM TW training department, and then 3 EAP reps. So like I said, a small station, but densely represented.
That's
safety,
really good.
Nick, you forgot our safety.
Yeah.
Nick, you forgot our safety team. 3
yeah, three on the safety team.
Who are the people on the safety committee? If you don't mind, if you got the names off the top of your head.
Yeah, I'll take that one, Dave. Our safety committee, unfortunately, we've lost our Kim Swazo. He was our guru at safety there here in Denver, Colorado. He took the early out and retired on us, but I've taken over the role as chairman for that committee there, and Ed's on it as well. And we have Alicia Schultz is her last name.
Okay.
She's a really proactive member. We haven't been as active as of late because of COVID and what have you, but that's our 3-man committee and that safety team as well.
Okay, great, Mark. So, Mark, you're attached to Local 1886, and you're the committee chair. It's a primarily United Airlines dominated hub. United is really big there, and they primarily are the ones that control the local. How's your relationship when you work, in a station that is so powerful on one airline, and we're American, a little bit smaller? How's your relationship there? How do you get along with the local?
Dave, I have to say, Johnny Martinez over there at Local 1886 has been outstanding. I mean, he's treated us like brothers should. The only thing that I have to say about the relationship is the people in the TWU that are coming to Denver don't realize what we have going on there until they actually come to one of those meetings. But the relationship, to get back to your question, is outstanding. We have a great relationship that they're able to set us up for schooling that we need. Any kind of opportunity that comes our way, we're always included in that stuff. And we're looking always to be more active there as possible. So if any of our members out there that are listening to this, please get down to the local and visit us down there and see what we do.
You guys are very fortunate. That's a wonderful facility you guys have. And you guys just had an event just this past week. You guys had a Guide Dogs of America event. And that's good that you guys are able to do that and work together for a charity event.
Dave, if I can jump in there real quick
Sure.
on that, if you don't mind.
Right.
In terms of the lodge, I mean, being small and the executive board and it mostly composed of United, Mark's he's being modest, but our roles and some of the appointments, Mark's been on the bylaws committee. I served or was appointed to try to put together things through as the local communicator. John Martinez put me on with Scott Hooten as well for the Denver Area Labor Federation. So I'm a delegate there. And these are things that happen and it just shows, United reaching out or our e-board reaching out, and it doesn't, it's not the airline, it's just who's involved, putting people in the position where they can be successful. And we can't forget, our brothers and sisters at Southwest as well. They're a large part of Local 1886 and their safety team and their role in EAP and committee reports and everything. They're a big part of 1886 as well.
Okay, great. So, we were just talking about the TW and the IAM. Brother Ed, since we have a mixed station, how important is it that we all work together? I know we're from two different organizations, but we're working together under one collective bargaining agreement. Can you explain how you guys are handling that, as coming together as one group?
Well, I think we had a little bit of a taste at first when they brought in the pref hires, and those being ones that had worked here previously here in Denver under the TWU contract that went elsewhere. And then they were brought back under the preferential hiring. And it gave us a taste. They brought their views. It's definitely different viewpoints, but when you can communicate and sit down together and work through a problem together, and everybody realizes it's better to work as a team than as individuals.
Right.
So we had that for a couple of years, and now with the latest influx, we are actually getting active TWU members transferring in under the association. So they're getting to learn now how we've run the station all along. Okay.
All right. Well, I do know that under the safety aspects, I was talking to Dennis Spencer, the safety coordinator for District Lodge 141 on American. He told me that, the TWU would be handling or looking at safety one way, and the IAM guys would be looking at safety at another way. And they found out that they were both doing that something they should all come together on and work together on. And understand that process is still ongoing. We're still finding out things that they're doing that we should be doing, and we're doing stuff that they should be doing, and working to basically make sure that we all come together. So we're working under the same umbrella, so to speak, going in the same direction. So I think that's great that you guys got a good foothold down there in Denver and are working together to try to tighten up our association. So my hat's off to you guys on that good work.
Dave, that's a good point as far as safety goes. I mean, this GSAT program that Tony D and Dennis Spencer are working on now, I think will help gap that. If we can all get involved, that I don't think that none of the stations around the system push that enough. It's already been successful in a couple of cases here in Denver, where discipline has been set aside and training's been put in place rather than actual discipline. So I think I'd like to get that out there to as many members, as many people watching this today, that the safety part of our union is very, very important.
Okay, good. Brother Nick, when you guys need help with district, who's your AGC? Who's assigned to helping you out in the station?
I appreciate you asking me this question, man. I love the opportunity to give thanks to all the district AGCs who have helped us along the way. And of course, currently right now, assigned to the Denver station is AGC Pat Resler, who we have a great relationship with, you know, as a contract negotiator. He's just a wealth of knowledge, real even keel, comes in there, asks the right questions, you know, gets the results, you know, that we want for the members. And so he's been great. And it was fortunate, it just so happened, you know, he got assigned Denver right when I was coming back from Denver, and him being based out of Phoenix, I work with him closely as chairman out there. And so he's been solid. But prior to that, and somebody we still reach out to all the time is Nic Haberman. You know, he was AGC when we first started putting together our committee back in 2009 and 2010. And, you know, as a young shop steward, to have an AGC just tell you, listen, you got, you know, a good head on your shoulders. You're, you know, you've got the right sort of mentality and approach, and just trust your instincts. And if you get into any trouble, you know, I've got your back. And having that sort of support was always great and helped us out. And then I got to say that we call up Mike Myrino from here and there, you know, out here in the West. He represents a lot of the field stations in our region. And so Myrino is always available to touch base with. And there hasn't been one AGC on the American side, and tons of them, you know, United. I'd be remiss not to mention United AGC, Richie Robinson, you know, local 1886, who's always been a big supporter and somebody that we can count on through the years.
Okay, great. Brother Ed, let's talk about union representation in Denver. How important is it that you and your brothers and sisters are represented by a union?
Well, I mean, union representation, it means the world. We have people from the contract companies looking and asking us questions here. I mean, I had come from in the past where I had worked in a union in the state of Arizona. So I kind of had a background on what a union could do. And just to see what's happened up here, not just with the contract negotiations, getting us, the association getting us the industry leading contract that it has, but the fact that we can go and represent members when management is overstepping their boundaries. It's something that people just, a lot of people, they take it for granted until they actually see it in action.
Okay. All right. So, Brother Nic, if you had any advice for a non-union airline worker, what would you say to them?
You know, I love this, and I really love that. That's kind of the organizing aspect, you know, of the union. And it's not just organizing the organized, but getting out there to those who don't have it. And that would be the majority of people out, you know, in the working class. Or and my advice would just be, you know, think about the difference of coming into your job and knowing that you own the work, as opposed to reporting to the owners and being somebody who's there at will. And so my advice would be, you know, to come together in the job, to not believe any propaganda about what unions are, to look into it and to do your research, to talk to and look at collective bargaining, what it can do, and to really look at the professions that have unions and those that don't, and look at that type of benefit and well-being, and just, I guess it's like a sense of pride that you can have. And I tell all the new hires who come in, I say it is going to be different than the things that you experience. If American Airlines wants this work done, everything we do out there, you know, they've got to do it in good faith with our union under good terms that we agree to are beneficial in terms of safety and fair compensation and everything else. So we own the work, and that sense of ownership gives you an ability to operate on a day-to-day in a way that I think I wouldn't be able to be the type of person I am, without having the union. So my advice is to get out there and sign the cards. And I know that with the JetBlue campaign, we hear about people who don't have time to sign cards. They're leaving the workplace. They're trying to get on the bus. They're too busy to sit and talk with a union organizer. And some of these same guys, JetBlue leads, their position was just eliminated. They are told that it's no longer a position. It's now a supervisor position. And you just got to think back and think when you had the opportunity to sign the card, so it's never too late. The union's always here. It's not some sort of exclusive club where we want to keep what we have and keep you out. It's actually the opposite. We want everybody to come in and reap these same benefits and the same type of self-satisfaction, that we have in working together. So my advice is join a union,
Amen.
Sign a card.
Amen. Great answer. Okay, so guys, we're getting ready to close out this interview. I always like to give an opportunity to give you guys a chance. If there's anything that was on your mind that maybe we didn't really talk about that you want to make mention of before we close out, here's an opportunity for you guys to give me some feedback. So anybody got anything to say before we close out?
Yeah, I'll start it off, Dave. I just want to get a little shout out there to our AGCs and our locals as well, and just let them know that some of this contract stuff that we got ongoing, the new contract stuff. I mean, every day this stuff pops up, new stuff, out of Denver alone. We've had several incidences, or I should say grievances that contractually made a difference. I just want to put it out there that we need to start communicating with each other. We need to know, they need to know on the other stations that in Denver, we've done this, and this is the way we've accomplished it. So we don't step on each other's feet, and we don't interfere with anybody else's grievances that might be going on. We need to communicate a little better. And thanks for this opportunity, Dave.
Great. Okay.
Dave, so I've got kind of two aspects. The one thing is just, like Mark said, shout out to, all the district, all the locals and all our fellow committee, can't wait to get together for this committee conference. And all touch base. We really haven't been able to do that with the new contract and COVID. But what I put out there to committees that are still formulating things, they're trying to figure out, ways to represent the member. I think what we've got in Denver and what makes us so successful is you've got Mark Chavez, who's committee chair, but he is also involved in safety. You got myself, committee secretary, but I'm involved in training. You got Ed, committeeman, but EAP. And these type of things, incorporating that into our leadership roles, those things are so critical, about, solving the problem at the lowest level. Well, I mean, if the problem never happens, that's the lowest level, and being involved in training and helping people out with their problems before they become severe enough to impact performance, or dealing with safety on the front end, that sort of proactive approach. And I guess it's just something we learned over the years was, it's not just a matter of us putting down walls and saying, it's us versus them. I mean, we've got our opinion of management. They've got their job to do. We have our job to do. But if we're proactive and we show our integrity and we show that we're out here to, help the station, that's good for our members. That's good for our careers. And then for management, they have their own reasons. But if you work together and you show that you're coming from a good place and you're solid and professional, and you can disagree and include your membership in the fights, that's beneficial. And the last thing that I want to just touch on is just solidarity within the union and politics within the union. And I know that there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And I just want to remind everyone that, like, when there's division amongst the union, division within the union, that's just detrimental. The companies and the executives, they got to be licking their chops, if they see us fractured. So we just, we need to trust the membership. We need to trust the democratic process. We need to support, our leaders. We have tons of faith, in the guys that we've been working with and have been working on our contracts, for all these years. And I just want to say that, we need to come together and figure out those issues that are ongoing and festering now. And remember, that it's strength in numbers and solidarity.
Okay.
And I appreciate you letting me say that.
No problem. No problem, Nick. So, Ed, do you have anything you want to say before we close out? Anything really quick?
Oh, just real quick, I want to just confirm with like what Nick said. It's strength in numbers, not just it not just shows our members, but it also when you're trying to organize and get the other contractor companies to see what can be done. And if we're fighting amongst ourselves and there's division and everything, it offers little reason for them to join us. Yeah. So the union's only as strong as its unity and membership.
Right. Okay, well, thank you, brothers, for coming on today. I greatly appreciate it. This wraps up this week's 141 report. Thank you to all our viewers for tuning in to watch our show. We appreciate it when you share, follow, subscribe to our social media sites that can be found on IAM141.org's website. Also, be sure to sign up for our emails, which you can always find at the top of the page. Thanks, brothers, once again for coming on. Everyone have a great weekend. Bye for now.